Hey everybody, Tim and Julie here for another DC animated original movie, Batman the Killing Joke. So, just to get some of the stuff out of the way right away, so this, in the DC animated movies, this is like their 26th movie or something. We're just watching the Batman ones. This, out of the 26 of them, I want to say this is their first rated R movie. And at this point, they've been doing them for like 10 years. So this, like I said, this is the Killing Joke. One of my favorite comics. I absolutely love this comic. Like I have a whole bunch of pictures and stuff like behind the camera for this. I had given you the comic to read before watching this movie. It's very, very different than the comic. So before I ask what you thought of the movie, some of the differences, the two big differences, to kind of put into perspective, because a lot of people complained about this movie, that they didn't like it because of the whole like opening scene. Like the whole first hour or first half hour of this movie is not in the comic at all. The reason behind that, to put it into perspective, is the whole comic is basically about the Joker shooting Barbara and then Batman kind of getting revenge for that. Okay, now in the comic book, Batgirl is never in it. It's just Barbara. So for those who didn't know that Barbara is Batgirl, if they had just done just the movie, for one, it would be really, really short. And for two, like you would be like, why does Batman care about Barbara Gordon so much? So they put in that little prologue to kind of show, like, hey, this is who it is, and this is the connection that Batman has, to make it more personal. And then the second part, a lot of people didn't like the sex scene between Batman and Batgirl, which technically, I'm going to spoil it for you a little bit, that is actually canon because, so there's what's called the Timverse. It's named after Bruce Timm, who is like the creator of like the 90s Batman stuff. He did a whole bunch of shows like Superman, Batman, Static Shock, the Justice League, stuff like that. So like I said, a little bit of a spoiler for you, because we're doing the Batman animated series. Right. After that ended, he did what was called Batman Beyond, which takes place in the future. So Batman's like old and retired, and there's a young Batman who's like his apprentice. Well, young Batman, the new commissioner is Barbara Gordon. And there's a line in one of the episodes where he's like, so did you date Dick Grayson or did you date Bruce Wayne? And Barbara's like, I dated both of them. And he's like, oh, okay. So like as far back as the year 2000, 1999, like it is canon that Barbara kind of dealt with both Robin and Batman. So that's actually part of the series. So people are just freaking out for no reason. So that gets all my stuff out of the way. What for you? You just read the comic. You just saw the movie, the first rated R movie. What did you think?
I liked it. I liked Barbara's Batgirl. And always there helping Batman for a while. Then when she went after
like Paris Franz.
Yeah. And he told her no, or Batman told her no, that leave him alone. He's got it. But when Paris sent her on that scavenger hunt and stuff, trying to lead her on, but I believe she was going to get him.
Right.
She wasn't taking it seriously. She was just out to get him.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
The sex scenes didn't, to me, they were harmless. But and towards the end, when Commissioner Gordon, when the Joker took him hostage, And
which that scene is rough.
that was rough, you know.
When they're like they like strip him and they're like showing him pictures of his daughter and stuff like that.
He hasn't seen his daughter,
mm-hmm.
and asked Batman how if he had seen her, and
like this comic, it's a rough comic. Like, and I don't mean rough as in like it's bad or it's unenjoyable, but it's like a lot of the times you read Batman, like it is kind of aimed for kids,
right?
And so even if the Joker's scary, like you have a limit. Whereas this one, the Joker does not have that limit,
right?
Like where he's shooting Barbara and he strips her and he strips the commissioner. Like the Joker is terrifying, in this one.
Yeah, whatever became of the other guy who was gonna get involved in something, and then he heard that his wife had died.
Oh, that's the Joker. Yeah,
that was him.
Yep. So that's the flashbacks.
Oh, okay.
So so kind of we watched The Dark Knight, with the Heath Ledger, and in that one, like he every time he starts to tell a story, it's a different story on how he became the Joker. This is one of those like interpretations. Some people think absolutely this is how the Joker became the Joker. Some people think that this is just another made-up story, but that he was a failed comedian and his wife was pregnant and he decided to get in with the mob.
Okay.
And so this is important. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but this is important for another movie that we'll watch later on, for the Red Hood, because there's this gang called the Red Hood Gang, and it's just different people wearing the same hood. So, I mean, if everybody's wearing the same mask, it's hard to catch who's behind it.
Right.
And so this comedian decides to join up with them because he knows the layout of this facility. And then when they go, before they go, that he finds out his wife died.
Right.
And so he's even more like, what's the point in living anymore? Like, I'm just done. And they're like, you already signed up. You got to go. So when they go, he ends up falling in the acid, and that's when he becomes the Joker. So it's almost reminiscent of like the Jack Nicholson movie, where he like falls in the vat at the towards the beginning.
That makes sense now.
But it's all up to the viewer if you want to accept that origin story or not. But it's just one of the many interpretations.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of them. Another, this comic is full of interpretations. Some people at the very, very end of the movie, and even in the comic, so you see Batman and the Joker, and they're kind of having that conversation that we've seen so many times before. Like, you can't exist without me. Like, we're two sides of the same coin. And Batman's like, I'm doing this by the book. This is how we're going to do it. And so it's up for interpretation on the Joker tells the joke, and then you see Batman like put his hands on him, and then it cuts to black. Like you don't see what happens next. Some people, there's an audience out there that says like he grabbed him and he took him to jail, and that's it. He did it by the book. That's how it's going to be. Some people say because when he puts his hands on him, there's like a crack of lightning, because it's raining and stuff.
Right.
Some people say he put his hands on him and he snapped his neck. Like he's like, no, I'm done. I'm trying to do it by the book and I'm done. And he just kills the Joker right there. So some people say one way, like this whole book is it's almost like a Rorschach test. Like how do you see Batman doing this? Which to me is how brilliant of writing, because this was written by Alan Moore, who's one of my favorite writers. He wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He wrote The Watchmen. He's written all sorts of stuff. And, like, that's brilliant. Like, if you want Batman to be the good guy, then fine. You can go with that story. If you want Batman to be like, fuck this, I've had enough, I'm done, then you can go that way. It can literally appease both audiences. So,
yeah, to me it seemed like, because Batman said, either you're going to kill me or
I'm going to kill you. And see, that's where that comes from. Yeah. And then that's when some people are like, one of us is going to kill each other. So Batman's like, fuck it, done. And snaps his neck.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
You think he arrested him and did it by the book? Oh, see, now it's casting doubt. Ooh, look at that.
When Joker told the joke and it took a while and Batman started laughing with him, I don't know. I kind of think maybe that he let him go.
Okay. No, that's
You know,
interesting.
but who knows?
Yep. And that's part of the brilliance of this book. This is why this is one of my favorite books. I actually have like an original copy from the 80s. Like you guys have no idea. I absolutely love this comic.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as like this is the first rated R one, parts of it do seem kind of rated R, and then parts of it like it seems like it's like a soft rated R, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's no swearing. Like they never say fuck or anything like that.
No.
The Joker says God damn it, which actually I loved, because at the very end where he's like, well, God damn it. Because it's so like it's Mark Hamill and he's so defeated. He's like, oh, well, fuck. Like it's so like, but there's not a lot of swearing. There is a lot of blood.
Yes.
And there's the minor sex scene, but even that, there's no nudity. Like you never actually see like a private part.
No.
It's always like off or just hidden. But for it to be like rated R, for you have grandkids. Would you show this to your grandkids? Or is this more of like a PG-13?
Probably. I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
But who knows what their dad has already.
Yeah. So you would say this is an R movie?
Yeah, kind of, but it didn't bother me.
Okay.
But
I forgot what other movie. I think, wasn't it like the Arkham Asylum? We watched another R one, and I was like, why is this R? Like, there's no reason for this to be R.
Yeah.
But this one was kind of more on the fence. Like, this one was a little
bit. Probably because of the way they set it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, like you said, they didn't show anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's
like they're right there on the cusp the entire time. They're just riding that line.
Right.
Okay. Any other closing thoughts for The Killing Joke?
I really enjoyed it. It was
good.
Good.
This is actually one that I was really excited for, because at the time Mark Hamill had kind of retired from the Joker, because he says it's hard on his vocal cords because he's so raspy. He has since, like, as much as I love Mark Hamill and I love the Joker, it's my favorite Joker, he goes back and forth. He's like, I'm done, I'm never doing it again. And then he did say, he was like, if they ever did The Killing Joke, I would come out of retirement for it. And I swear to God, the next day, DC was like, we're doing The Killing Joke, we're doing it. And you could just see Mark Hamill, God damn it. And so they did this one, and then every so often, he does do the Joker. That being said, I lost my whole train of thought. So this being Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, absolutely loved it. I don't know, I had a point, but I lost my point. But overall, this, I do really, one of the reasons I also really love this movie is, like I said, DC has put out, at this point, like 26 movies or something. Because The Killing Joke is so famous and so popular and all of that, they actually did a limited edition release in theaters.
Oh, okay.
And Jordan, my husband, and I he does not care about DC movies or anything like that, but he'll watch them for me. And when they did it's a Fathom event or whatever it's called, so it's ridiculously expensive. It was like $15-20 per ticket, and I was like, it's The Killing Joke, I have got to go see this. And so we went and we got to see it, and I still have a couple posters from the theater, but Jordan and I actually got to go see this in theaters on the big screen, and it was phenomenal. It was so well done. It was amazing. Absolutely love this movie. That's all I got. Any other closing thoughts for you? Okay. For those who have seen it, like I said, a lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. It does kind of seem to ride that in the middle line, just like the comics. So I wouldn't have it any other way. So for those who have seen it, what did you guys think about The Killing Joke? All of the different interpretations, all stuff like that. This is actually what's called a banned book. Like, for a long time, like libraries, schools, stuff like that would not carry it. Okay. So, curious what you guys think about this movie, this adaptation. Go ahead, let us know. I would love to discuss it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we will see you guys next time.